Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something really different. It's this incredible network of community projects, and they're literally composing a new future with code and creativity. They call it a Symphony of DREAMS. So let's tune in and find out what that's all about.
So, let's start with this. This question is really the heart of our entire explainer today. It just cuts right through all the noise about AI, all the hype and the fear, and asks something fundamental. It's the real driving force behind every single thing we're about to explore. All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll get into the main idea, this Symphony of Dreams. Then we'll explore 3 different movements, a hackerspace in London, some amazing animators in Ethiopia, and even a whole fictional world. After that, we'll peek behind the curtain at the strategy, the conductor's score, if you will, and we'll wrap up with an invitation for you to join in.
Okay, let's dive in. What's the big idea here? What's the common thread, the musical theme, that ties all these different initiatives together, from one side of the globe to the other?
Well, it all comes down to this one idea, dreams. It's an acronym, and it stands for dialogue, reflection, ethics, awareness, meditation, and storytelling. But don't think of it as some rigid corporate framework. It's much more like a musical score. It's the philosophy that guides every single thing they do.
Okay, and this is where it gets really interesting. You've probably heard of STEAM, right? Science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. That's all about what we build. Dreams is the other side of the coin. It's the why. It's this existential complement that asks, what's the purpose? What's the meaning behind all this technology? It's about building with intention.
So, with that philosophy in mind, let's get into our first movement. We're going to see how all this theory actually works in the real world, starting with a community space in London.
We're starting in a place called the Carpenter's Cafe in Newham, London. And, this is way more than just your average cafe. It's this buzzing community hub that's transforming into something really special, something guided by a hackerspace ethos.
A hackerspace ethos. What does that actually mean in practice? Well, it's all about openness, collaboration, and just learning by doing. But it goes deeper. It's really about tearing down those old top-down structures. So instead of a boss telling everyone what to do, you get freedom, you get collaboration, and ideas flow freely. It is true co-creation, built from the ground up.
All right, for our second movement, we're taking a pretty big leap, all the way from London to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. And we're going to see how that exact same philosophy is being used to empower a whole new generation of incredible storytellers.
Check out this number. It's just incredible. 100%. That's the percentage of local animators in Ethiopia who are self-taught. And let me be clear, that has nothing to do with the lack of talent. It's all about a massive gaping hole in formal training, in resources, and just in opportunity.
And the challenges they face are just huge. First off, there are no official university programs for animation. The private schools that popped up, they've pretty much all closed down. Then, let's say you manage to teach yourself. The equipment is insanely expensive because of import taxes and things we take for granted, like good software and fast internet, super hard to come by. And the cherry on top, a lot of local broadcasters just don't see the value in animation.
So to tackle all of this head-on, the I Am project was created. And the name is perfect, right? I Am for imaging, animation, and media, but also I Am for identity and self-expression. It's found a home at the Colonel John C. Robinson Center at St. Mary's University, and it's basically become the dedicated hub for this whole creative community.
And this isn't just some vague idea. They have a really clear plan. Their pilot phase back in 2023-24 was a big success. It proved the concept worked. So now they're jumping into the storming phase, where they're scaling everything up. And they've got future stages all mapped out, norming to refine things, and performing to become fully self-sufficient by 2028.
Okay, so let's recap. We've got this community tech hub in London, and we've got an animation school in Ethiopia. So, how do you bring them together? Well, that's where our third movement comes in. It's a fictional world, a shared creative playground designed to do exactly that. It's called the Stormhaven Chronicles, and it's this huge collaborative fictional universe. But as its creator, Gavin Seeley, puts it so well, this isn't just about entertainment or escapism. No, the whole point is to create a space where you can explore really big concepts about ourselves and about the world. And they do this through something called the Stormhaven Writers Guild. It's basically an open invitation to anyone who wants to come and help build this world, which is called Newham. And this is where it all clicks together. It becomes this amazing practical sandbox. The animators from Ethiopia can team up with the folks in London, and together they can weave these rich African creative traditions into totally new global stories, all in this shared digital space.
It's brilliant.
So we've heard the different movements of this symphony, right? Now let's zoom out and take a look at the sheet music itself, the conductor's score. Let's see the strategy that's orchestrating this whole beautiful thing.
Yeah, this isn't just a bunch of feel-good ideas thrown together. It is a really thought-out operation, and they use this 6 Ps framework to make it all happen. It's super logical. You start with the premise, which is just recognizing that there's all this untapped talent out there. Then you set your principles, things like sustainability and inclusion. From there, you make policies to handle the formal stuff like partnerships and IP rights. Then you make a plan, and only after all that do you actually build the programs and put them into practice. See? It's a super clear roadmap from a cool idea to actual impact.
So you can really think of their whole strategy as these 3 layers built on top of each other. The foundation, the absolute base, is dreams. That's the why. It's their soul. The next layer up is the 6 Ps framework we just talked about. That's the how, the strategic blueprint. And then at the very top, you have your smart objectives. That's the what, the specific daily tasks that get the work done. It's a complete system, from the deepest purpose all the way to practical action.
And that brings us to the grand finale. But it's not really an ending, it's an invitation to compose. Because this symphony, it is nowhere near finished. In fact, it's really just getting started.
So let's step back. What have we actually seen today? It's this incredibly resilient ecosystem. It's not just a few separate projects. It's this living, breathing, interconnected thing. You've got the community intelligence from Newham, the education and empowerment from Addis Ababa, the creative playground of Stormhaven, and it's all tied together with these global links and a deep commitment to sustainability.
And that's the key takeaway, really. This isn't some project with a start and an end date. It's an ongoing process. It's about constantly weaving together creativity, community, ecology, and technology. It's a powerful new model for how things can work. A model where collaboration just flat out replaces competition.
And just like that, we're right back where we started. What you're looking at here is a living, breathing invitation to rethink everything. How we relate to knowledge, how we relate to technology, and maybe most importantly, how we relate to each other. So the question is still on the table, and it's a question for every single one of us. Who gets to shape it?